Square Enix has announced the next game in the renowned Valkyrie Profile series, Valkyrie Elysium. Is that right? Am I saying it right?
Or Elysium.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
not
good.
sure
So I'm
exactly
not too
what's
far
right.
off. So
Yeah, it's fine.
it's coming this year, 2022, to PC, PS4, and PS5. PS4 will never die given the chip shortage. And yeah, I'm guessing you're going to be a little bit excited about this game. Is that right?
I am. I want to talk about it, but probably not for the reasons that you
Oh, okay.
might expect me to. Like, definitely keen on this, but I'm completely inexperienced with the Valkyrie Profile series. But it's a series that I've always wanted to play, especially the first two. The first game's always had that cult classic status, and by all accounts, the PS2 game was great as well. I don't know much about the DS game, and the mobile game, from what I looked up, just I don't know. It looked like a mobile game. Let me
Yeah.
just put it that way. But yeah, so it's the first game in the series, essentially the console version since 2009. So it's been a while. It's
If you're a Valkyrie Profile fan, you must be like over the moon. Like, what the hell? They're bringing this back.
I don't know. I don't know if you are over the moon,
And why not?
because this game is very different than the other ones.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to give me that detail.
So this is an action RPG, as people watching the footage on YouTube could attest to. All the other games are turn-based RPGs. So
wow.
not saying that alone is going to push people away, because
Yeah.
that's happened to a lot of series. Obviously, Final Fantasy is the big one there. But to go from not having a game in the series for so long to come back and essentially have it look like a completely different game, by all accounts, I think a lot of people are not going to immediately go, oh my god, that's the new Valkyrie Profile, Valkyrie Elysium or whatever looks amazing. And the thing for me as well is the trailer and the game, the way the game looks. This game looks pretty poor at the moment, in my opinion. Like the state of it, like graphically, I think is actually, for a game that they closed the state of play with, and a game that, like, on paper, I'm like, that sounds good, and I'm interested to try this game out. I'd probably still like to play the others before it. I just don't think it. I don't think it wowed people. I think it's just looks really rough, and this isn't being developed by the same people either. So, Tri-Ace were the developers of the early games, and Tri-Ace are also famous for the Star Ocean series. They're not working on this. It's a studio called Soleil Game Studios. And they've got a couple of action RPGs under their belt, but they're generally licensed games, like a Samurai Jack game and stuff. So they're not.
Okay.
They don't have like a rich history of classic JRPGs compared to obviously someone like Tri-Ace. But I mean, Tri-Ace are working on the newest Star Ocean. I'm not saying that they probably even had the capacity to do it. But so yeah, I think the reception's been a bit mixed on this. Still think it looks neat. I love my action RPGs, but at the same time, I can understand why people might not be crash hot on it. So
Yeah. I missed your note in the run sheet at the start that we're meant to talk about the overall thing. I think it was also because this is like titled Valkyrie, so it like threw me.
yeah, I'll just say as well. Sorry, last thing on Valkyrie as well is that they are getting the composer back, Motoi Sakuraba, and that guy, like, you look at his run sheet now. Not only does he work on all the Tales and Star Ocean games, but also Dark Souls and all.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Like, he's so prolific, so it's great they've got him back.
Can I say, with these state of plays, and maybe this is my Nintendo fanboy bias, but there's just something about the way that Sony does these state of plays that it's just like, it feels a bit like, a fan is putting it together, trying to copy like a Nintendo Direct. And there's something about it, it's just missing this magic or aura or like energy or whatever. Like, I always go into watching these as you crack open a beer or something.
I'm cracking open a Fruit Tangle vodka drink.
But yeah, so it is alcohol.
Literally Fruit Tangle. I'm not being sponsored.
And yeah, like, I just feel like I go in positive watching them, and then just the way the things land, I'm like, it's like, I feel like I could be a lot more excited than I am, like, when I'm watching it. I don't know. Maybe it is just Nintendo is just so ingrained in my brain, but
Look,
what do you think? Like, is that a fair statement, or do you think it's more biased than anything?
I mean, it's definitely fair, but I think nobody's got the magic like Nintendo. Nintendo just always. We have so much nostalgia for them. They've got so many properties at any time they could bring back, so you just don't know what to expect. Whereas with PlayStation, while they're much better Xbox in terms of their legacy and their IPs and everything, but still they're not Nintendo. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're ever going to have that magic. As for my overall like thoughts with the state of play, and we'll obviously get to some of the other highlights in a
Yeah.
second. I liked it quite a bit, but also it was very what they covered was generally very niche. So it just happened
Yeah.
to hit a lot of the niches that I love. So I think your mileage with this state of play will really just depend on, you know, do you do you like JoJo? Do you like turtles? You know, do you
Yeah.
like to bring
Returnal.
back Valkyrie Profile? You know, and the general audience probably isn't going to be like that. So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll get to that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I just can't get over the fact that like there's a couple of them that I'm like, I should be more hyped about that. But maybe it's like, I say this though, that definitely one different thing is, and this is hearing in interviews of people who have got stuff in Nintendo Directs and then state of plays and things like that. Nintendo is very specific. Like it's not just like, here's my trailer. No, 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 no. They're like, this is what we want. This is how we want it. This is the pacing. This is how we want you to structure it. So I think they're putting their own thematic over everyone else. So it just feels a bit more cohesive as a thing versus like, it does very much feel like a bunch of disjointed trailers with a wrapper around it with state of play. Whereas I never knew that with the Nintendo side, that they actually work with people and make them come up with a trailer in a specific way. It's like, no, we want it to be paced slower at the start, and then bang, this is when you have this announcement and all this other stuff. And I'm like, that's interesting. And the other part of it is they work with people and then they don't hear from them for 3 months, and then all of a sudden there's a Nintendo Direct. Like, they don't even tell them that their product is actually going to go out the door and get announced. Like, that's crazy. So, but anyway, let's jump into the next announcement, which I think, you know, again, I think I would have been a lot more excited over it if it was a Nintendo Direct, but yeah, let's go into it.